Tusk is also still in the pool, the one that T-Gov mentioned.
I'm down for a Tusk for Spirit.
But the Vengeful Spirit, Night Stalker, Shaker.
Wait, I thought we're looking at Doom offline.
Yeah, I think so too.
Swap it up, why not? Go quick.
Sure, okay, so but our Spirit looking for a Yatoro hero? Where's this Tiny going?
I would assume they are still looking for...
5 seconds remaining.
The 5. No, it's the 5, right? It's the 4 snap.
That's not what VP think. VP banned out a bunch of carries.
In 8 seconds, we'll know.
Well,
Virtus Pro's turn to pick.
Yeah, well, I don't know. It will be the
That tells
Silencer.
me absolutely nothing.
Silencer most likely going to be support. Surely
Yes,
you don't
correct.
want to give him that much farm priority. The
Most
biggest
instant
impact he's going to
Invoker.
have is pressing his big R button, making sure everybody is silenced on the
exactly.
enemy team.
10 seconds
Last word.
remaining.
Last word.
Isn't that your segment, Jenkins?
5
Last word?
seconds remaining. You may now select
There's the beast.
Nice.
Not only do they have BKB piercing ability from Beastmaster, it synergizes really well with Luna and the whole playstyle. What they needed this frontliner that can also push and bring some map control to the game, a lot of vision. I think it's the perfect hero here, and as a silencer, you truly don't like to be playing into all the summons running your way. However, when it comes to the silencer, there are some positives, right, Stigov?
Yeah, I mean, why are you throwing that on me straight away? I was thinking of something else. Yeah, no, I like it. Honestly, I think Silencer is really good right now. I think people hate on Silencer for no reason other than it's a good hero to some degree. But I think Spirit, they needed something in their draft to be able to give them that way where if VP run at them, they can just set the scene in these
10
earlier
seconds
fights. Like when
remaining.
BKBs come out, of course, it's going to be a bit hard for Silencer to have fun. But the idea is the
5
pre-20
seconds
minute,
remaining.
when Doom's farming, Tiny's farming, Lena's farming, they needed that way to say, no, we don't want to take this fight. We want to go again in like 2-3 minutes time. So I like the idea from Spirit reacting like this, but VP with the Beastmaster pick, it is giving them that nice window where Luna, Beastmaster, Invoker together with an Aegis won't really care about the value of a Doom, the value of a Global. They'll just have to run straight through that. So Spirit, it's going to be a bit of a long one, but equal drafts.
That means that that the Roshan is going to be key for this series, for this third game rather, Jenkins, right?
Yeah, I feel Virtus Pro, they have a lot of synergy. And Team Spirit, they have the Osrog Rock guy. So we'll see.
And look, there he is up front. Beautiful.
Beautiful indeed. All right, guys, it is game 3 time. Before we head into the game, we got a quick word from the coach. It is this time silent from Team Spirit.
Prepare for battle.
Slay together, slay together, slay together. Lose together, win together, slay together, slay together, slay together.
你这么菜的队友不会生气吧，哥哥？
Thank you very much, Frankie. Yes, the deciding game now between Virtus Pro and Team Spirit, a game which will be the last at this TI for one of the two. Insania, what do you make of this approach this time round? Quite a change, if I feel, from what we've had so far from both of these teams in this series. What are you liking?
30
So,
seconds to
I
battle.
think there are strengths to both drafts. I don't want to bias any viewers at home watching. I don't want to give them any feeling that either team is stronger or weaker, but I'll tell you guys what the strengths are. So I think VP, they're looking to buff up this Luna, right? You're going to have Alacrity, you're going to have Beastmaster Aura, you're going to have Sunray. It's going to be all about the Luna for them. I think stacking of Ancients, just like basically playing the macro game in the early game, and then having this 4-man of Invoker, Beastmaster, Bane, and Phoenix running around and applying pressure to Team Spirit. Whereas Team Spirit, there's going to be like this tricore. You're going to have the Doom with a lot of farm, you're going to have Tiny with a lot of farm, you're going to have Lena with a lot of farm, and then they're going to look to power through and try to kill that one target. So basically it is, if Luna dies without an Aegis later on in the game, VP's teamfight's done. They're relying heavily on the Luna to output the physical damage for them. And if they can't kill Luna, then 1v5 Nightfall is gonna happen.
Sure, and we've seen Nightfall do that many times before. Both games really, both Nightfall and Yatoro have been solid on the farm, solid on the carry. See what sort of timings they can hit this time round. Of course, Yatoro this game on the Tiny, one of those heroes that's been first picked many a time here at this TI, and a lot of times taken away, getting it through here. And it's all important game. Spirit almost certainly going to be feeling very happy, at least with the opening 2 from their draft. A great way to go into this.
Yeah. I would expect Team Spirit to have a little bit of an edge in the middle lane. I think as the levels start coming out, Lina should be edging out the Invoker slightly, as she has the option of farming out that small camp and pushing out the middle lane. So expect Toronto Tokyo to be off to a great start. Top lane between Luna Phoenix and Doom Snapfire, you don't really have a lot of like kill threat from either side, so you're mostly going to see them try to contest a lot for CS. You're using that Luna aura together with the Phoenix, pretty decent attack damage to just get creep control creeps. So both Doom and Luna should have a pretty good time up here top. And then bottom lane, I think, is where you might see some action happen between Save and Aposhka, trying to get some trades going. And this is really where I see kill threat potentially happening. If you're out of position and getting slowed by the Boars, lead to a kill.
And do you like sort of the sort of the closing from Spiritual, the fact that they get this silencer in the support position? Like, what is this going to offer for them in terms of timing and team fight?
Right, so if you think about it, VP's draft, the way it comes together, it's going to be all about Luna, right? And they need to cover her, they need to heal her, they need to be applying these buffs to the Luna. And if they're able to just stop any sort of counter initiation, stop these buffs from coming out, stopping these heals from coming out, and they're able to burst them during that global silence duration, that might just be enough for them to win the game. So it makes sense, I understand what they're thinking, but you know, theoretical Dota doesn't always play out that way when you're on the main stage of TI. So it'll be interesting to see if they can get that execution right and find the fights where they're allowed to use their spells that way, as he's in a little bit of trouble here in the bottom lane.
We have it. First blood for Save. Actually trading. I mean, it's any sort of support against the Bane in lane. It's never easy, especially when it's Save on the Bane. Always knows how to read the matchup and when he can push himself.
Yeah, I would argue Save on these like ranged lane dominant heroes arguably is the best position for in the world. This is his dream playstyle, so not too surprised by seeing that. We see up top actually the Luna is falling a little bit behind the Doom and the CS. I didn't expect that this early on, so maybe they're able to push that lead. As Kingslayer's in a bit of trouble, but gets away just fine.
Kingslayer is gonna be forced right back here by Mira, so plenty of room for Collapse to pick up the farm. Nightfall being forced to CS here underneath the tower.
I think at this level, you know, that should not be too much of a problem. He has a level 2 Luna, Lucent Beam as well.
Say that, I think he missed one of them. There we go, he's got this one. Easy. Easy peasy.
Yeah, and I mean, the timing up here in the top lane is really the level 3. That's when the level 3 on the Phoenix, sorry. That's when they have the damage to potentially threaten a kill on Mira. I wouldn't really expect Collapse to have too much trouble going through this lane with the start that he's had. He's already up at 20 CS. And here we go, initiation on Nightfall.
Yep, straight in they go. Won't be able to stay on top of it. But the damage being done out.
Yeah.
How much region they have between the two of them? They don't actually have any. Just the stick charges on Nightfall. One Verifier on Kingslayer. So the pressure definitely getting to them.
Sorry. The worst part is the boots just outlivered Nightfall, so his courier's not in base for him to get any region.
Definitely in a bit of a fragile position now, VP. These two being as low as they are.
Yeah, I think the top lane is doing above expectation, and you know, we've been talking about Collapse a lot, and this is the reason why. He has the skill to pull out plays like this.
And they go. They get the cookie connection. Nightfall will turn, but the range is there from Mira. Gets taken out. I mean, you knew that Team Spirit were going to go for that, sitting as low as they were up here. I mean, VP's just lack of regen getting completely punished.
Yeah, absolutely. And just great find from Team Spirit. I didn't really expect this top lane to have this much action going on. I expected that more to be happening in the bottom lane, but yeah, top lane going very, very well for Spirit. 26 CS on the Doom, but you see at the bottom lane, DM's matching that. And these are both like very scary heroes to have a great early game on.
A very even CS elsewhere. I mean, mid lane. Actually, mid lane, we are starting to see Lina being able to clean up the waves a bit more effectively than GPK and farm that small camp.
Yeah, and that really is the advantage that she has here. My expect Toronto Tokyo, very standard build, most likely going to see the Boots of Travel into some sort of BKB into damage item. Might even sneak into Yules there just because when you're going up against something like Bane or like that, you want to have as many disables as possible. You do have the Global Silence to cancel it, but ideally you want to have the freedom of using the Global Silence to cover your team fights and not be forced to save it to react to like a Fiend's Grip or something like that.
Bottom save. That's going to start setting up onto Miposhka, but DM not quite able to get around and get any hits in. Now, it's going to be Team Spirit able to turn back in, toss underneath the tower, save. Got the Fairy Fire, and he's taking tower hits, he'll go down. Can't quite get him for another Brain Sap. A little too close there, and Yatoro ready to punish it with the toss.
Oh, perfect gameplay there from Team Spirit. And looking at the laning phase now that's shaping up, I think most things are going quite as expected, but both the Luna and the Doom are actually quite low on the net worth compared to the opposite end. So seems like both heroes are suffering. I think that favors Team Spirit, right? Because if you think about VP's draft, they need this Luna to be fat. She's going to be the one outputting the damage, and Collapse has a recovery tool in his Devour, so things going pretty well for them up here top. But the Beastmaster definitely is a problem. Helm of Dominator just finished up on him.
And with sort of the Beastmaster and the Luna, yeah, who's going to be grouping up sooner this game, would you say, when you look at these two drafts?
I think VP's draft is probably going to be the one that groups up faster, and I think Team Spirit's job is going to be to disrupt that, to not allow them to get the objectives the way they want to, and like try to kill them before they're able to group up.
You do see in the mid lane, Toronto Tokyo did take the walk back to base to refuel. If he heads anywhere other than the mid when he gets back out on the map, nice, he's just going to return it, keep on farming.
Yeah, and GPK is TP top. They want to make sure Luna is able to start farming as effectively as she can.
Spirit are keeping completely away from this. Hiding in the trees by the tier 1 GPK, which had to spend his time sweeping back to mid, where save. We'll have a bit of a setup onto Toronto Tokyo. GPK trying to come in and outpower. Save might be in trouble. Toronto Tokyo has got that Laguna to commit with, and save. He tries his best to high ground the tree line, but Toronto Tokyo does still find him. He's in a lot of trouble for this though. Cold snapping the EMP into the stun from DM's Centaur.
That's a really nice play from Save there, completely baiting him out. And then, you know, it was so close to him juking it out. If he gets that juke, survives, what an amazing play. But really nice response there. You see, this first earn charge for Invoker is really important. And that's sometimes the hard part of playing Invoker. When you're stuck in your lane, you're unable to get it. You saw him TP top, not find a kill, but then rotates back mid and sets up the opportunity for him to get that. So now he has that earn. If he wants to make a move, it's much easier.
Tower is under attack.
Yatoro. Oh, able to find Kingslayer. And with the curses upon him, it's going to be quite a bit of damage ticking in, but GPK is there to try and help out. Curses still tick down Kingslayer. Yatoro burst out of mana. DM closing the gap in with the roar. He'll have to follow up lockdown if necessary, but the right clicks alone, that'll do it. Yatoro trying to run, but completely surrounded by GPK, DM, and his Centaur.
Yeah, pretty funny little interaction there as DM took over the Centaur that was already EMP'd by his own Invoker, so he couldn't use the stun.
Top lane, Mirror does end up going down here. We see a quick move once more. GPK making sure to get involved in all of this early action, keep those charges up.
Yeah, GPK just in the right place at the right time, and when he's not, he makes sure he has the TP ready to get over there. He's having a very, very good start to this game. You would expect around 9 minutes for the Selena to be the one that's ahead. And
DM! He just walks under the tower, kills off Miposhka! The TP over to punish him for this. So they're actually able to do so. The kiss is coming out, but DM is just going to go straight for the TP away. And there is nothing to stop that man.
VP are set up here. We have a level 5 on Phoenix with the Invoker, but their judgment here is that we don't have enough damage to kill the Tiny. So they're waiting for the Beastmaster to rotate back.
Well, you're right, even with the opening, it's not enough to burn through Yatoro straight away. Yatoro's actually looking to turn back in with a cookie over towards GPK.
Oh, he misinvoked. He invoked Cold Snap, so he doesn't have invis for another 2 seconds. Can they chase him down, though?
They've got the toss. Got it back up now, but the curse is already in place. Sentry ready to drop as well as GPK will die.
Oh, that one's got a sting. He misinvoked. He definitely wanted the Ghost Walk, but he got the Cold Snap instead, so unable to make the distance there.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
But yeah, you see the Luna now heading back into the jungle, starting to farm up these stacks and recovering his early game. And this is going to be really the key thing for VP, I think. How much pressure can they apply with the other heroes? They have Phoenix back up now, they have Roar, Catapult wave bottom. Beastmaster's gameplay, it sometimes becomes pretty predictable because you're mostly going to look to push around the Catapult timings, because that's when you get that bonus tower damage, and that is what I expect them to go for here. Most likely going to see the Phoenix rotate bottom, try to use that Catapult to apply pressure to the tower. And Spirit looks like they want to fight. They're setting up.
Do have the 600 Poshka, so Global will be ready to break through the combo that VP will want to play with. Supernova, of course, up for them on their side.
So VP here, they're noticing that Nightfall's not getting pressured in the top lane, and this means that there are no heroes there, right? Nightfall's able to farm top, he's not getting pressured. That means DM's about to get ganked, and what do you see DM do? Fall back straight to his triangle, wait for support to come by, and now they're going to make the attempted push with all their heroes in position. Great plays from VP, they're reading the map so well right now.
And they will now start to push a little further on this bottom lane.
Yeah.
Toronto Tokyo, bots are the ready, will be able to join engagements. It looks like Spirit smearing the pressure here up top.
Yep, Spirit recognizing, you know what, we have the better scaling. We don't need to force any fight if we don't have to. Collapse has that Midas queued up. He actually already has a finish, and he has a BKB queued up, which he already has one piece for, so he's incredibly farmed. And it's only going to start ticking in faster. He doesn't even have Devour maxed out yet, and he's already on top of the net worth graph.
Radiant's bottom tower is
it's going to be a real problem for VP. Let's do it.
2k lead
middle tower is under
on the
attack.
passiveness. Will definitely show itself in the farm here for Spirit. VP not quite able to find a catch there with the swing around, but they split themselves back up. Pressure will remain on the bottom from DM.
VP support's also moving towards the top side of the map, recognizing that DM's not under any pressure. Spirit's not looking to fight this, so moving their Phoenix back top, keeping him close by the Invoker, so they always have the damage to fight back if somebody gets caught.
Rolling out.
Spirit, they want to make a move.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah,
is
they don't
under
want to just
attack.
have the Beastmaster controlling all their space. They don't want to get stuck in their base like they did last
Dire's
time.
middle tower is under attack.
Even just saw the Vayne save's been keeping them out of their jungle completely, so they've got to try and flush them out here.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
But you notice, like right now, Tiny doesn't really have a lot of space to farm. He's dropping down. He was doing very, very well at the start of the game, but at this point, there's just not many camps for them to farm. So I feel like VP are doing a good job of controlling the pace, but I'm scared of this Dumo, and he's getting really, really fast.
It's going to get massive. And even if Yatoro's farm gets shut down a bit, Toronto Tokyo on the Lina, we've seen it many times. The Lina can very easily carry a game on her own back as well with the damage that they can do later on.
Absolutely, and I think Team Spirit, they're like one of the few teams that I see do this consistently, where the Yatoro kind of shifts between the 1 and the 3 position almost. He kind of plays like more of a supportive player from the carry position. He'll buy the carry items, but you see it, look at his item queues up. He has Echo Saber into Blink. He recognizes that's going to be his job this game.
Top lane. Then attempts on to collapse. There's a lot here with the burn of the Sunray. Using the Supernova as well, but collapse is going to be able to walk out of the range of it all. So
yeah, the lack of the urn charge. They just don't have enough urn charges to chase him down there.
Radiant's bottom tower is under
same time that was
attack.
happening, Spirit did have a bit of a poke at the mid. The remainder of VP's lineup in position to stop it. And VP, again, just getting themselves to the jungle. You see Save and DM consistently pushing Spirit out of this, their half of the map down.
They also, VP recognizes, right, even though we didn't kill the Doom, he's out of resources, so he can't fight. What does that mean? That means that Team Spirit has to draw back on the map, and VP are allowed to walk up to this tower. They know that they have a timing until Doom regions up, until they have to reset back.
This tower, nothing can be done. They will get the deny at least, but inevitable pressure from VP in their push of DM and his summons. And it's building up.
Yeah.
And if they can get these objectives, they will keep the gap pretty small
Money to burn.
between the farm of both of the teams.
I mean, I think Team Spirit right now, they're just trying to greed up for their BKBs. As soon as they get the BKBs, that's going to be their timing to fight. But VP are controlling so much more map space, the way the map looks right now. And if you look at the Luna, she's just catching up. She started at the bottom of the cores, now she's in second place and almost caught up to the Doom. So I feel like if you're Spirit, you're not too happy with this pace, but maybe you have to accept it until BKBs come out. As Doom's caught once more.
It's gonna have the back of a Yatoro though, Collapse. He's ready to try and turn. GPK into the trees to dodge Collapse, trying to get the ult up. Now the ult comes in from the Luna as Nightfall turns up to the fight. Not enough beams to burst through Collapse's Doom though. Both teams able to step back. An Eclipse and a Doom gone to waste for each respective side.
Yeah, expect the smoke here from VP, right? There's no Doom, they're weak. This is going to be their time to pounce, and immediately they smoke up. They have no cooldowns. They have this Quasvex Invoker that's constantly able to fight and run around. And even the mana situation on Team Spirit is something that we need to keep close track of, because if they burn the mana, the hero is no longer a hero, right? It goes for almost every single hero that they have on their team. Lina needs the mana, Doom needs the mana.
Quick 9 minutes, 17 up in front of the tier 2 tower. They've got so many up here, they didn't even use the rule.
Top tower is under attack.
Yep, great kill. They just want to buy space for Nightfall. And he's closing in on that BKB. I feel like every minute that ticks by, oh no, Collapse.
Oh, that was rather a greedy attempt at a TP. They'll hide in the trees, but they found him more money for the Luna.
Yep, this Luna's getting scary fat, and I think once we see the Luna ready to start teamfighting, expect that Roshan attempt. This Roshan's going to be so important, because if you think about Team Spirit's heroes, Tiny has basically a spell combo the way he's itemizing, right? Going for the blink, not really going to be the big auto attacker that we're used to seeing during this tournament. Lina as well relies on her ultimate, relies on her BKB to fight. Same thing goes for Doom. He just wants to Doom a guy and wish for him to die, so Aegis is going to be huge.
GPK just been a huge nuisance there, forcing Yatoro back each and every time with that EMP.
It really does feel like the GPK show. He's everywhere, right?
He is. He's right in their faces.
Oh, Fiend's Grip coming out on the silencer. He gets the kill with the Jim.
Now able to blow the Phoenix. So the trade is found here.
Yep. Laguna Blade used, so is Fiend's Grip. But yeah, for Spirits, it's just try to get this blink on Yatoro, try to finish up the BKB. You have it on Lina now, you have it on Doom,
Radiant's
and then
bottom
once they get that blink on
tower is
Yatoro,
under
that
attack.
should hopefully be their cue to try to find a fight for themselves. Because if the game continues like this, the way the map's set up just heavily favors VP.
Yeah, this, Nightfall Luna, as you mentioned before, very much on track to be able to carry this completely in any sort of action they bring them, as long as they can protect her from being doomed. So far, things look to be pretty good for VP in that sense. Top lane, Yatoro trying to push out the wave. That's the Tiny going down. Nightfall again picking up the glory. I mean, he's been having all this space on this half of the map, and we're seeing him get some very nice kills here with the way that Team Spirit seem to be just sending one core up there at a time.
It's just abusing the night vision from the Lunar Blessing, right? Luna can see you when you can't see her, so she's able to scout that out as she comes toward that camp to farm. And, this is the perfect kill for them. If Tiny doesn't get Blink, that gives them opportunities to keep farming and keep fighting and keep deciding what's going to happen in this game. And now they have that Aegis. I think this is massive for them.
Fallen to the Dire.
Game firmly in control for Virtus Pro, I'd say.
Dire's middle
They're
tower
hitting the
is
timings
under
they're down
attack.
for.
Stay together.
Safe. Forcing some TPs in here around the mid. And we'll be there to ensure that nothing else follows up from VP.
Yeah, I'm sure Yatoro right now is saying, don't fight, I just want my Blink. I just need his 400 gold. And it's gonna be hard to fight.
I mean, look at this. GPK starts the fight on top of the silencer. So Miposhka, no chance to return fire with the setup of a global. GPK just coming in from all the angles that Spirit least expect.
Radiant's top tower is under
That's
attack.
just great recognition from VP, right? They know where the Tiny's gonna go to farm. The Tiny goes right there.
I mean, this save Bane, so many games, it's just set up so much. And the show continues from the map. Instantly just able to buy time with the Nightmare for VP to join up. And VP, the triple kill on GPK. He's getting out of control. This Invoker 4-1 and 5, he is hitting full momentum. And it is, as you say, complete control of the map. Spirit, they've got to get a grip somehow.
Yeah, they're hitting their item timings though. It's important to note Team Spirit's teamfight is not weak. They're very much capable of fighting back into this fight once they're able to group up. And in order to group up, they need to finish off these items, and now they have.
Fine save. Save. Should be pretty dead here. Oh, tries to juke his way out of things, but with the vision down, there's no hiding in the trees.
Yeah, Blink Doom, global ready. They still have the Snapfire ult. This is a good timing for them to start looking for some sort of fight. Ooh, they see the Luna. Seems like they want the Invoker though. They feel like they can't go on the Luna with the Aegis without it being a bad fight for them, so...
Yeah. They've got to do something about GPK. He's been getting away with so much, they'll find him. Jumping the combos there, GPK out of the game.
Yeah, Doom wasn't even needed to be used there, so... They still have the capability of fighting into VP. And if you take a look at VP's wards, they're set up very, Team Spirit's wards, they're set up very defensively in their own jungle. And that's really where they're going to be looking to punish VP if they overextend. As they're heading over towards their vision to play close to it. So if DM shows himself on these wards, expect to pounce immediately.
And Nightfall, still of course very ready to fight with the BKB and the Aegis of commit onto Collapse, but Collapse has got the BKB, they turn straight away, they barge through the Luna. It's the first life of Nightfall gone.
Yeah, 2 BKBs burnt though, so they recognize that they can no longer fight this, and they immediately reset back without any casualties. So VP now have an opening during the BKB downtime to try to find some sort of fight. If they can do it, this was an Aegis well spent.
Well gotten gain.
Spirit, they know, even with that Aegis taken away from VP. Very much ready to brawl and try and see if they can get the jump. Nightfall's going for the Aegis. VP trying to get the lead and toss it back, but the BKB's out of time. Kiss is coming in for the side. VP still heading it onto Yatoro with the cold snap. Yatoro is in trouble, goes down, set up into the raw sunstrike. They brawl Mirror as well. Spirit, they try and take a fight. I mean, I guess they just completely underestimated VP's potential to turn if Nightfall gets his BKB off.
I think that was as simple as just some simple miscommunication. Had Yatoro maybe yelled that out half a second faster, he gets a Doom off while he's in the air, that looks completely different. Luna's immediately dead, and you're gonna see Team Spirit running at them. But unfortunately, the communication just looked like it was slightly off there. And that just leads to the polar opposite team fight, right? They have to reset back, lose Yatoro, and Snapfire ult now expended.
Invisibility.
Yatoro, of course, queuing up that BKB, but he's quite the while away from it. See Toronto Tokyo doing the classic Shadow Amulet setup here. Very sneaky. He has. I'll tell you what, I wish that's what happened in my games when my teammates got the Shadow Amulet.
Yeah, mine too, Owen.
Oh, save.
How does he do this? How is he just
He's just there, isn't he? He's always there. Nightmares from everywhere. Feed script put the ready. Ooh. Global will be used, but the time's been brought in. Nightfall's going to be charging over towards Toronto Tokyo.
This is an opening, though.
And the rest of Spirit are looking to get in with Toronto Tokyo. In fact, they're going to fight GPK. They knew that GPK would be looking for that wraparound, and it all ends up working out for Spirit. They read and they get into the mind of GPK this time.
Yeah, just beautiful understanding of the game, right? They understand we use global. That's going to give VP the cue to group up and look for some fight. And they decide to smoke to their Lina, find the rotating Invoker. Really high level thinking here from Team Spirit. Something important to note, as this game does continue on into the late game, you traditionally see your Lunas buying items like Satanic, right? In order to survive the team fights. She won't really have that luxury in this game. He should be expected to get doomed in almost every single fight. So it's going to be hard for VP, I think, after a certain point in this game, to keep scaling up, to keep relying on the Luna to output all of their damage. So for VP, it's going to be about hitting the Scotty timing on Luna and then looking to try to zone them into their base again, grab the second Aegis, and then apply the high ground pressure. You see the Luna also has skipped the shard. This is because he's planning on getting the next Roche. There's no Luna shard. He wants that from Roshan for free.
Toronto Tokyo setting up his mid. They open up the line track. They're going to burn it further in off the Luna. Nightfall down.
Huge kill.
Super swift move from Toronto Tokyo. I mean, they knew he had the amulet, but of course, getting that blade completed in between that last blade top and this play now, they weren't quite prepared for that, and Nightfall just completely misreads that item would have been online when it was.
Yeah, absolutely. And every time this Luna goes down, it's a huge opening for Team Spirit. They scale up really nicely into this game. They're going to have Shiva's Guard on Doom. They're going to have a second round of Doom. And Tiny is now recognizing that, you know what? I'm finally getting some space. I'm finally finding my farm on the map. He's going to go for BKB, and then he's going to look for that classic item build in the Silver Edge.
VP, not to be put down here, they are still sweeping into the jungle, despite the fact that Nightfall's out of action, maybe seeing if they can catch the Spirit off guard. It's going to be hard though. Spirit grouped up as 4 around the mid. Toronto Tokyo will head back to reset, get that mana up. BKB Silver Edge, he's starting to gear up to be rather terrifying on this Lina. If they don't get on top of him, no longer does it really matter if Yatoro is the first one to die in this fight. Toronto Tokyo is going to be dishing out the damage.
Yep, he absolutely will. And you know, the story of the Force Protect 1 still continues for VP. If you take a look at their items, GPK is building a Linken's. They're building Lotus Orb on the Beastmaster. They really want to protect this Luna. This is going to be all about the Luna for them. So, are they going to be able to do it, or is Team Spirit's just Tricore too strong?
I mean, it's as you said, it's always a risk. Always a risk, this Force Protect 1 against the Doom.
Yep, it absolutely is.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
We saw VP here, very aggressive on the dive inside the base last game. They're looking for something similar here on Toronto Tokyo. Cold snap.
Rip straight away. Global, it's in play.
Man, this Global's come in huge front of Tokyo twice now. It's really stopping VP from making the pickoffs that they want, but it's still an opening, right? No Global. Roshan could spawn in 20 seconds if VP's lucky.
Radiant's middle tower
And
is
if they're
under
able to clean up
attack.
that Roche, that pretty much will be the money for Nightfall to have that Skadi complete. So very close to this next sort of power spike. And they'll have the tools and able to get out. Ooh, a little close there top with the tornado, but the TP's out in time, Spirit's away.
Yeah, and we saw this in the last game too. When Roshan's about to come up, where does VP go? Well, straight into the Radiant Triangle.
Yep.
Control the space. Make sure they're pushing in the top lane. Make sure you're pushing in the mid lane. Force Team Spirit to come to you and fight under your vision.
Oh, they're coming. Smoke up from Spirit, ready to head out the base.
And you see Spirit, they're dodging this ramp that's closest to the ward because they recognize that there's most likely going to be vision there. And they're just running all the way up through the top lane to make sure that they avoid any sort of fight under VP's vision.
This is going to be pretty huge as Spirit can catch them off guard, but Lincoln's now complete on GPK, so we'll be there for the next fight. They've also got the Lotus Orb on the Beastmaster.
Ooh,
GPK.
they saw the Lina.
They did. Toronto Tokyo's got to be cautious. And he throws in with the jump straight away for the Luna. It's going to keep him alive. It's not. The Doom still goes down. Nightfall to go down. Time with the roar onto this Lina. As Toronto Tokyo supernova stun in the face as well. With the Lina down, BT, they want to try and chase on for more, and they're going to find Maposhka. Cold snap into the Sunray. He freezes and burns at the same time.
Okay, but Nightfall's buyback was extended. If Roshan does not spawn for them
And it's
within the timer, this is very good for Team Spirit. You see how fast this Luna dies. They're not able to keep her alive. They need the Aegis. Unless she can dodge out some of these spells, she's going to be done.
Top lane collapse. Very close to being caught there by GPK. He's going to go out for the TP around the tree line. He's out.
A beautiful juke. He tried to use the Sunstrike to provide him with vision to cancel the TP, but unfortunately just didn't. If you're VP right now, you're praying that Roshan spawns. They don't know the timer the way we do.
Absolutely not. It's not going to be up until Spirit do have the full line of backup. Sure, the Doom itself won't be back online. Still about a 30-second window between that and the Roshan, but everything else, it will be there. And then we are seeing if Yatoro gets that lead in, even without the ultimate from the Doom, that initiation of time for them to throw everything out, it's enough.
Yeah.
Mid-DM, he's going to go for the roll onto the Doom and collapse. I think he's going to be alright. Just have to use the BKB here to run out the Sunray. But now, that's another threat that won't be there for the Roshan. DM, no roll.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at the bottom rune. Take a look at what's at the bottom rune.
Oh, and look who's near it. Nightfall is around if he catches vision of it. This could be exactly what they need around a fight. Now, this Roshan, as we said, is not going to be too easy for VP, with Spirit being back up.
Yeah, Roshan's up. I'm sure they're thinking about it right now.
Who's going to check out that DD? It's still there. Need the team with eyes on it.
Yep.
No one going to check it. Save. 1v here for this Roshan. No buyback on save.
This is an opportunity for Team Spirit to try to look to make some sort of map control play, de-ward the potential wards that VP might have in their triangle, gain control of that area, and here you go. His girlfriend finds it right away. He has a gem and 2 sentries. That's how committed he is to making sure that there's no vision on them.
And this is going to be huge. The buyback comes out from save. They want to do everything to maintain control of the Roche. It's back up. GPK did see the DD. I imagine Nightfall is going to head over to pick it up. He's going to be able to grab it before it disappears. So DD Rune at the ready. Still just 200 gold already off that Skadi. Would have been great for him if he could somehow get that online before the fight. VP, they're already smoked up around mid, ready for someone to step at Toronto. Tokyo's got to be cautious.
He absolutely has to be cautious. He is their source of damage. He's their answer for the egg. If he doesn't get to stand his ground in the fights, it could be very, very hard for Team Spirit. Just the same as if the Luna goes down. Without the Lina, they just don't have that firepower to really finish targets off as the Skadi finishes, but this DD was most likely not going to get used for anything.
No, it's going to run out soon.
Both teams recognize this Roshan's everything. Yep. Whoever gets it is going to have a huge advantage.
Buybacks are pretty important as well. GPK just 50 gold off his, so he's close to... Yeah, he's going to have it. So there will be buybacks available across the board, really.
Yep.
And they will certainly be coming out around this Roche, especially once some of the bigger ultimates have been used. If VPC, the Doom drop, Global Silence popped, they will absolutely invest those buybacks to secure Roshan.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if you're Spirit here, you're probably thinking, do we want to use this opportunity while the Luna's buyback is on cooldown? And like, is it worth running into the vision to get that opportunity, or is it not? I'm sure that's the kind of conversation that's going on in their booth right now. Do we want to run in, fight when Luna can't, or do we want to wait for them to come to us?
I mean, when you look at these two teams at the moment, when they're playing sort of around the stalemate near the Roshan, who is it easier for to start the fight?
I don't actually think it's easier for either team. You have the Hawk from VP to smoke behind, but you know, you expect there to be some sort of sentry, and if they spot the Hawk coming into their triangle, you know what's coming next. That's a smoked up VP behind it. So both teams understanding that it's very, very hard to move into each other. But I just have to imagine you're thinking about it if you're Team Spirit. It'd just be so juicy. You know, the Luna has no buyback, and you know she has no buyback.
Nearly still 4 minutes on that buyback around for Nightfall. See, DM, he did have the money for the blink. He's maybe holding off in case he himself doesn't want to keep the buyback available, so he can get back over to that outpost and offer up his services if he's the one that gets initiated upon. The VP, they're going to start things off here in the pit. DM ticking down low to the curse. They'll try and get the Beast Master out of there. Will DM go down the once? A bit of a heal from the Sunray. Will keep DM protected. So all in all, that's the Doom having to expend the buyback.
The Lina still has BKB.
Huge. He walks straight into it. He's going to step up and get the Doom is down. Dropped onto the Luna. The Lotus was there, so having to deal with the Doom himself, but he got his job done. Collapse. He doesn't mind tanking his own Doom. And that's Nightfall down for 100 seconds. GPK did buy back. But a bit of a very risky way for GPK to try and approach that fight. Walking in, he's got to be almost certain that Team Spirit had the sentry down.
They actually did sentry their ward first, so just great positioning by Imposhka, running in as fast as possible, dropping that sentry first.
He's got the silence. He's gone. They heal off.
Great EMP.
They're burning through. He's trying to take it from GPK. He goes straight over the ward. Demo for GPK trying to bring him out with a deadly blood, but GPK goes down. Kingslayer will kill off your top, and another life shot from Toronto Tokyo. Sets up for the kill of Kingslayer. He's now ready to go over towards DM. DM trying to step away. See if they've got the chase down, able to remove the debuff with the Lotus Orb. DM. He's going to be found by the slope from Mirror. Break it comes in, the little shredder. It'll get the job done, surely.
Immediate buyback. They don't want to give up Roshan. They understand. Maybe we can't kill them, but as long as there's 3 of us alive, they won't be willing to go into the Roche pit because it's going to cost them too many resources and it'll drop too low from trying to tank Roshan. So the stalemate continues. I think it does. VP, they survived the no buyback Luna here. It's huge for them.
They did. Indeed, even in a situation where you look at the death timers and GPK and Nightfall down at the moment, as you say, with what they're able to hit back with, there's almost certainly going to be time for at least Nightfall to get back in before anything kicks off again. We'll see this fight once more, you see, which is great. Read and getting that sentry down.
They're attempting to get the Roshan.
Tokyo's trying. The Raw comes out, but the Lotus is there. The Raw back onto him on his own self. DM's in trouble. DM, he's still alive. The Sunray Hill Kingslayer keeps DM alive.
Oh my god, how
Roshan is so low. Toronto Tokyo wants to step back in. Life Strike Ray's going to miss. He doesn't catch either of those things because the Global Silence comes out. Toronto Tokyo commits to finish up the Roshan. They get it, Team Spirit.
Oh, it's so huge. But are they out?
Oh, the birds. They're coming in on Toronto Tokyo, but he's out. Lotus and the Silver Edge, he'll disappear. Mirror Will get left behind. They're tempted to go back in. Toronto Tokyo wants to take down Nightfall. He's in with the Laguna, forces out the BKB from Nightfall. But they got what they came for. Aegis on Toronto Tokyo. Spirit able to sneak in and take it.
Absolutely. This is huge because it slows down VP's game plan. VP's game plan was to try to win the game on the second Aegis. Now if they're even going to have a chance to win the game, they need to make sure that they get the next one that comes up. And in order to even just get there, they have to survive the second Aegis. So for VP, you're not really thinking about your game plan anymore. You're off the win condition that you initially tried to set up. And your mindset is just like, okay, how do we survive the next 10, 11 minutes until Roshan spawns again?
I mean, and how do you have to just go full defensive?
I think like every single team approaches this in a different way. Some teams start split pushing really heavily. Some teams like to group up and like play on the defense. When I think of VP, I feel like they're traditionally a team that likes to play when they're in control. They're rarely put in this position, right? They left the DPC with I think 14 wins, 0 losses. They're not used to being put behind like this. So I think this is a tough position for VP to be in, and it's not a position I would imagine they don't have a lot of practice in either.
Definitely a scary time for them to be put in that position here. Game 3 in an elimination series here at the International.
Yep. We have some big items coming up soon. I think if you're Team Spirit, you're starting to think about, all right, how do we set up this timing to be as strong as possible for us? Yep. Brave, brave, brave. Doom closing in on the refresher. Lina's eyeing up that Hex. And you see Yatoro's finally coming around to that auto attack build. He has the shard. I believe he got it from Roshan. And
I think that, yeah, was the second one.
Yeah, Silver Edge finished up, and he's going to start looking at that AC. So he's going to turn into a third carry. We talked about how he kind of started his game off more as an offlaner than he was a carry. And now he's slowly shifting back into that carry position.
Yeah, it certainly is. Closing the gap on Nightfall's Luna. Just 1k between them now. Spirit out with the smoke. They know they're ahead. 8k advantage right now off the back of that last sort of few minute long fight around the Roshan.
Yeah. Save is closing in on a Aghanim Scepter, I believe. But he does have a Force Staff queued up, so might change his mind at any given time.
Radiant are scared.
You know though, 3 of them right up by their tier 3s. They know how strong Spirit is here.
Yep. Spirit also respecting Virtus Pro's ability to fight. If they can hold a high ground on vision, it's going to be very difficult for them to run into. So they're keeping their formation, making sure they're always moving in with the right heroes in front. And that in this case is the Aegis Lina.
Dire's structures are fortified.
Also, Lincoln Sphere finished up on the Lina, so very hard for the Virtus Pro initiators to really get on top of her. The only real initiation they have to catch her is some sort of Enfeeble from Bane, coordinated with the Roar from the Beastmaster, so it's going to be a 2-player initiation. Gotta make sure you have that coordination on point.
As we're seeing one of them always put to a stop thanks to the global potential. So further limiting the way they can start off the action, VP.
Team Spirit playing with so much discipline though. Look at it. Tiny's not walking up to clap the tower because unless he knows he's safe. Really playing this patiently. Just walks up, hits it twice, backs off. You know, they understand. We cannot give away the wrong target. We might be stronger, but it's only under the right circumstances. As long as we play it right, we will edge out in the fights. Make one mistake, and it's not the case. We see Luna eyeing up the Satanic. This is an item, you know, I think is really hard to use against Doom, but they have 2 Lotus Orbs and a Lincoln Sphere, so it's all about keeping this Luna alive. If she's able to alive, if she's gonna be able to stay alive and use that Satanic, that might be a changer.
Bottom. Global straight away, of course, to keep Toronto Tokyo safe. That's gonna be safe dead.
Yeah, and he did just finish up that Aghanims, and I'm sure Team Spirit saw that. And Bane is not a hero that has a lot of gold, so they should be thinking to themselves, most likely this Bane does not have a buyback.
Especially now with the refresher done on Collapse. They'll be very happy to make the moves. Aegis timing out. But that ability to pretty much even guarantee a Doom on 1 target. Or if Collapse is able to find them grouped up, get the Doom down onto 2.
Yeah, Spirit has really nice vision set up though on the top side of the map, and when you're playing Radiant, this is where you want vision if you want to wait for the next Roshan. This is going to give Spirit an advantage going into the next Rosh fight. You know, maybe recognizing we don't have the best high ground tools yet, we need the AC on the Tiny in order to go high ground, so they're just playing it patient. They understand with the second Aegis, all we needed to do was take map control and make sure that VP has to fight us under our circumstances. And they're recognizing that, you know what, our Lina probably outscales most heroes in this game at this point. VP doesn't really have great heroes to catch people in the back line. So just really good game understanding for Spirit. Are we gonna see a Rax trade?
I mean, someone's gonna surely back up. I mean, GPK is here trying to hold them up for this damage. My goodness, the base not standing a chance. It's gone. The Rex, they're done for.
Kingslayer TP cancelled. No Phoenix in base.
Collapse. Can keep himself on top of DM. And he's going to be met by the wraparound of Toronto Tokyo. It's a dead Beastmaster for sure. Rax taken, Rax defended. DM down, no buyback for 50 seconds.
Yep, huge opening for Team Spirit. You saw how fast they killed that Rax in the top lane if they want to. Expect them to start looking for that middle lane next. I don't even know how VP hold them off. I can't even think of a scenario in which this defense works.
I mean, as we see, sort of just one death and the barracks will be gone. They've got so much pushing power here.
Yep, Nightfall using the ninja gear to smoke himself up and puts in the Elven Tunic. Just trying to get every little bit that he can out of his hero right now.
Has to be so careful. Spirit, if they get any sort of jump, it could be game over for VP.
Spirit playing it so patiently though. They're not giving it to VP, they're refusing to overextend. I'm sure if you're a VP right now, you're feeling the pressure. You understand, you know what? Our game plan was not this. This is not the position in the game we wanted to be in.
Honestly, I'm
and
really
I think this is the position where you start making mistakes. So for VP, it's going to be, how can we stay as disciplined as possible? They have the gold for the Satanic on the Luna, but he's not buying it just quite yet.
I mean, buyback's going to be so important at this stage. Especially when you're playing the 4 Protect 1. Doing it against a Doom, you have to be sure that you're there for a second round in the fight if they get the jump on you.
Yeah, absolutely. I think for VP, you want to try to find these wards. These 2 wards that are alive for Team Spirit, they're huge. This is what's not preventing VP from moving over into towards the Roshan side. And they must be going through VP's heads. They must be thinking about the vision that Team Spirit has right now. They have 4 wards on the map. They basically see everything. They're controlling both the Dire jungles, and there's no way VP's playing on the Radiant side, right? So Team Spirit are basically playing with map hack at this point in the game. Miposhka's had a great game. We actually haven't touched on it, but he's been playing amazingly well. The globals have been on point. I think he saved Toronto Tokyo 3 times.
He has, from save.
Without those saves, he wouldn't be at like 28,000 net worth at this point in the game.
Well, it's, you know, with how well Save plays his Bane, it's one of those things that when you see it in practice and how good Miposhka makes it look, you kind of wonder why other teams haven't done this as a direct answer. It really ruins that sort of flow that the VP want to play. We saw in previous games this series where they just go kill to kill with the setup mid lane. To get the catch up to Toronto Tokyo with the Roar, the global comes out, but Toronto Tokyo, he's not surviving this. BKB popped, it won't keep him alive, he's dead. 100 seconds. I mean, Roshan, it's up in a minute, so there'll be about a 40-second window when Rosh is up. The Lina isn't. See if VP's able to make anything work with this.
Yeah, so VP, you know what? They decide like halfway through the potential Roshan spawn timer. So for those of you who don't know, Roshan can spawn in a random timer between 8 to 11 minutes from the last time that he died. VP decided to smoke during that gap. Unfortunately for them again, Roshan doesn't spawn during the timer where they're strong and Team Spirit are weak. But like you touched on, they will have an opening.
There's a little window. It depends how quickly they spot it out and if it's going to be enough. You know, yeah, so Hawks everywhere. They will see as soon as it's up. But Team Spirit, of course, still very scary with just the 4 of them. With the lead that they have, 15k up as a team right now.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them fight it.
Yeah. Absolutely. The buyback status as well is not quite as good for Spirit. Still 3 of their heroes without the money for the buyback. You see on VP, they're playing it much more cautious. Everybody buyback at the ready.
Yep, they understand that, you know, if we don't get this Roshan, it's done. There's no item in the game that's more valuable for us than this Aegis. So it really is going to come down to Rosh, and it spawns a refresher.
30 seconds. No Toronto Tokyo. This is ideal for VP. Some crucial components in the start of a potential turnaround.
Under attack.
As the Roche, it's all theirs. Spirit nowhere near to be seen. Aegis, refresher shard, and again, no love for the cheese.
They don't like cheese on VP.
Yeah, okay. All right. I mean that.
Scanning.
That could potentially be game changing.
I think that's pretty important. Yeah.
Yeah.
You've got to use everything you get to get back in on this one. You're down at the moment. Cheese left behind.
If they lose this game, they're going to regret that a lot.
They are. They really are.
Yeah. Once again, we have a standoff. VP now finally getting rid of these pesky wards.
He's in with the burst straight away. They've got the grid coming out of the globals there. Nightfall being fully focused down by Toronto Tokyo. Nightfall to go down.
He's standing his ground alone against 4 heroes on Toronto Tokyo.
He's got the backup coming in. He needs to jump forward for collapse. The third goes down. Finds a target. If they can get any forward, the kisses are coming in. They're having a backup refresher put by collapse. He's ready to go in once more. They're healing up the Luna. The tree hit comes in hard. Nightfall still alive for now. GPK trying to force back the rest of Spirit. They know no Lina for 80 seconds, but VP, they will be cautious. They won't try and push on for any more. They'll accept it as it is.
Surely they know this Lina has no buyback, right? I don't know, actually. Who plays like a madman?
I mean,
it's so hard to understand.
I was going to say, Spirit is playing without buyback on some of their cores in a way that, as you say, you just wouldn't expect them to do so. So VP may be hesitant due to the fact that they feel that the Toronto Tokyo could still make a re-entry here. We'll see how hard they do push it.
Yeah. Important to note, Doom refreshed. He has one more Doom ready, but so did Phoenix. The refresher shard has been expended. So there's another egg on Virtus Pro's side too.
Sora's going to step in and shot. Cleaning up the creeps. BKB has to come out. As Nightfall starting to focus the damage onto the base. Fortification out. I think they're going to realize soon that this Lina ain't returning for 30 seconds still.
I love this from VP. As Kyle famously said, that's playing to win, baby.
Middle tower has fallen.
Diraxis there's VP.
Radiant's middle barracks
Starting to equalize the state of each bases.
So when you see the buyback timer hit about 15 seconds, you kind of know this guy won't buy back. Even if he has it at this point, he's not going to expend it. So, you know, VP, they don't really have any information to play with here. They're just going to back off. Probably thinking, you know what? Next Roshan. It's unfortunate for all the people watching, but I think that's really what it's going to come down to.
I mean, next Roshan as well. Someone's going to get a bonus cheese out of it.
Oh, right. That's right.
So it's going to be even more of a reward for whichever side grabs it.
Yep, so we got Invoker eyeing up a Hex. We have DM eyeing up a BKB. And, you know, for Phoenix, I'd say maybe try to start farming that refresher. They need that. The Sunray seems to be crucial. He actually doesn't have the Aghanim shard. I'm quite surprised by that.
Oh, see, now they picked up the cheese now, GPK. Finally finding it here, so...
Yep. I think if you're VP, then really the dream team fight scenario is finding that silencer, but it's going to be really, really hard. Portugal's just hiding very well. He almost has a refresher, by the way.
And they want to jump Toronto Tokyo. Looks like a bit of a bait. There's the jump to Toronto. Collapse. They're trying to the high ground. They're another keep trying to get the supernova. Doom down onto the Luna, but with the egg out, there's no Sunray to help the Luna. As Nightfall's out, GPK will turn with the BKB to commit back onto Collapse. 2 for 1. We're saying buying back. We're also going to have a buyback for Collapse because Toronto Tokyo is just charging in on VP. VP having a run. GPK clutched up. They've got the grip for the lower ground, but Jatoro jumps in with the avalanche. Can't quite find the bane though. The grip persisting, holding back Toronto Tokyo. It doesn't matter though. Yatoro, he's got enough damage on his own to finish off GPK whilst Toronto Tokyo's held back.
Buybacks were expended though. You no longer have buyback on Collapse and no more buyback on Save. So VP now, because they didn't use the buybacks on their cores, they're going to get a fight in their team fight. And they have the roar ready. So most likely what you're going to see is some sort of initiation attempt come out from VP into the immediate buybacks.
Sure. But if you are Spirit, you do want to force these buybacks out, right?
Absolutely. If you don't get the buybacks out, you're fighting at a numbers disadvantage at the next road.
So are you getting the buybacks and then you're getting out of there, or what?
I think that's great, but you'd never know. Spirit has been playing very aggressively this game, and they might as well just commit for it. Who knows? They want the Luna, though. It's not enough with the Invoker. They want both for sure.
Structures are
It's the fortification. So that's
Dire's
something.
bottom tower
Yep.
is under
Spirit
attack.
reading the fact that VP want initiation before they blink in, so they're dropping the Lotus Orb prematurely here.
Can they get that Nightfall buyback? It's only 20 seconds. Looks like Team Spirit are going to back off, not feeling that they can pressure it out any longer.
Yep. Still in a comfortable position, Spirit. They have been able to take over the map now, and they have their heroes wherever they want to be. So VP need to be scared when they move out of their base. And you notice how they're swinging up to the top side of the map? Well, that's because they saw Team Spirit at the bottom. So don't really want to run into a potential Team Spirit sitting on a high ground situation anywhere.
Out they come, VP. Cheese has been passed over to Nightfall for the next move.
Yep, this move is coming out a little bit prematurely. Roshan can't really spawn yet, so even if you get kills here, you won't get the Aegis. And I would say this is probably due to the fact that it's, you know, TI, Game 3. They feel the pressure.
Trying to Tokyo's head again. He's going to get the Light Strike array down onto Nightfall. So they want to jump. The Shittori's looking to try and get him from the side. He's got his eyes on the end. Nightfall charging in onto Toronto Tokyo, but doesn't want to go any further. Shittori's in with the combo. Nightfall pots the BKB. BKB out for now. VP are having to reset. The BKB is going to wear up on him, and DM's already used it as well. Toronto Tokyo coming in with the BKB. The global side shoots the X out, but it's immediately taken down. Hex from GPK onto Toronto Tokyo. Buyback straight up from Kingslayer. Mirrors in with a fullback slow. Yatoro with a three-man combo. Triple kill for Yatoro. Collapse got the Doom down onto DM. They're chasing out the Beastmaster. DM's out of action. Buybacks from both Nightfall and DM, but Save and GPK, they do not have the luxury of returning to this fight.
This Tiny is gonna chonk down those base towers, and they have buyback on Lina, on Tiny, on Snapfire, and Silencer. It's only the Doom, and his job is done, right? He's taken out 2 heroes, he's used his Doom. So whether he lives or dies here in this next fight, it doesn't really matter. For Team Spirit, now you just gotta stay focused, make sure you keep the right heroes in front, don't make any mistakes, and this game is very likely gonna be yours.
They're so close to grabbing it here, Spirit. One more good jump from Collapse with a Doom, and it's pretty much going to be game over for VP. There it is. The jump's in there onto that fire. He stands no chance at all. And the Luna will fall. Kingslayer's world GG is called. And Team Spirit knock VP out of the competition.
Oh man, who would have believed this coming into TI? Team Spirit, I don't think they've ever beaten VP in an official before. Finally, at TI, overcome it.
What a time to do it. VP, they've always looked like that unstoppable beast of the region.